Okay, so we're now going to cut this bare-faced tenon and turn it into a dovetail. We start at the very tip. I'll just get my glasses on so I can see, because you've got to be quite accurate, haven't you? If you look very closely, you'll see two lines there, each side of the marking gauge line. I'm going to cut the one pencil line out and leave the other one in. Starting at the top. Now I haven't got asthma, I'm just blowing on it so that I can clear away the debris so I can see what I'm cutting. See that? So just keep coming down, both sides. Keep looking at both sides, backwards and forwards, until we're level across the two corners. Okay, now what we do is whip it out, get all the dust and put it back in the other way. Now you always go with the grain. Okay, you never come towards the grain that way, you always go with the grain this way. And the first thing I've got to do is to come down on that side, which is good. It doesn't actually take very long to do this, probably about 5 minutes, that's all. The whole thing will take about 5 minutes. Now what we do, we bring it upright. Same as you did when you were doing a mortise and tenon, do you remember that? And now we just go straight down. We go straight down and we just go about a millimetre below the line. That's it. Now we cut the back off. Okay, so we leave the dovetail on and we cut the back off. Now this is where you have to be very, very accurate, and that you need to put it onto the little side. If you're right-handed, you want to be cutting on the right side. I'm going to cut that pencil line in half, if I can. And when you're ready, you just go straight down. Okay, and you just cut that little bit of debris out the corner. Make sure it's clean. Now I can use another piece. I'm going to borrow this one if I may. No, not that one, this one here. There you are, that's a nice one. So I'm going to put a dovetail into there. And the first thing I need is a nice sharp pencil. So I'm going to... Can I have a nice sharp chisel, please? So... Notice how I'm holding the pencil. It's nowhere near me. That's it, that's nice. That's a nice sharp point. Okay. That's about as sharp as it can be. It's a nice sharp point. So now what we can do is put the dovetail... Oh, I've got to cut the dovetail. Can we just do that first? Now when you're cutting with a dovetail, you only ever use your tenon saw upright. I told you that in the past. So what we do, we always move the wood so that your tenon saw is still going to be cutting in an upright position. Now at this point, I'm just going to come down the line. It doesn't really matter if your dovetail isn't perfect. It doesn't really matter quite what the shape is. It needs to be fairly good. You can turn him around so that one's upright as well. Okay. Straight down the line. Because even if I make the dovetail different in size to what I intended to, at this point it can still fit. Now I just turn him around like that, and I put the saw on the inside of that previous cut. See that? And I just extend it across. Nice and clean. Okay, and then on the inside of there, let's see, I just stroke it down carefully, and then I come straight across. Okay, so now I've got myself a dovetail, nice and clean. I can put this now onto the piece of wood I'm using, and of course you can put it in whatever position you want. And I now can get a very accurate line with a pencil. By the way, I haven't got a face side on there, so let's put the face side on. So now we're cooking properly, aren't we? Now what I need to do the marking gauge. So the marking gauge, I put the stock on the face side. I let the stock and the stem get comfortable, and then when I'm ready, I press down with the marking gauge. And that's it. And the same on this side. Get comfortable with it first. and then push down with a marking gauge. Now what I want to be doing, I'm right-handed, okay? So I'm going to turn it around to do the right-handed cut, which is that one. Turn it over and do the right-handed cut again. You'll notice that this stuck, that the base of the tri-square is still on the face side. Okay. You say, why didn't you do another one? Well, because I'm never going to see it. Okay. As I put it into the vise, you'll see what I mean. Now, I'm only going to be doing cutting on the right-hand side, and to do that one, I'll just turn it around. Okay. So this one first. Now that pencil line, I want the pencil line to be, able to be seen when I've finished. Okay. So now I just do a nice straightforward cut down. Now at this stage I can test it again to see if it's correct. So put that back up on there and have a look. You've learnt to do this, haven't you? How that you can test to see what you're doing. Now on this particular case I need to leave a little bit more space than I thought. So I'll put that on there. And I'm going to now put a little bit more space than normal. Have you got a slightly smaller chisel? Okay, and a mallet? That one will do fine. Yep. And a mallet. Okay. So now what we're going to do, if you've been not taught, that would be great. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chop that out like we normally do. We hold the chisel by the blade, and you'll notice I'm going upwards. So I go down to within about a couple of millimeters of the marking gauge line. Now what I do is I turn him around, see that? I do exactly the same thing. I needed the smaller chisel to do it, didn't I? This little one here. Again, we hold it by the blade. Sometimes the wood actually breaks along the lines of the grain, which is what this one's doing. Now we've got that ridge shape in the centre. We start at the top of the ridge, and I hold my chisel level. So I can see, by looking at it, where you can see where I'm looking, you can see that I'm putting it in there fairly level. And now what I do is I put the chisel exactly on the line that I did with the marking gauge. I make sure it's level. And a nice, easy cut. Now you'll notice I can brace myself and put that against my chest and push. And that will get a very accurate mark. Now we swap it around. It's a little bit like doing the cross halving joint, isn't it? So now we start at the top again. Now I put that on the actual marking gauge line again, see that now? And that's it. So they tend to wedge themselves as they're going in there. That's actually dead on the line. Now if it's dead on the line, that means it should fit. Let's hope it fits. Turn it around. Oh, and there's another little thing you can do to just ease it. Put it into the vise. Take the chisel. Put a little mark there. And take a line down the back end, okay? And the same one here. This won't be seen because it'll be deep inside the wood. Okay, do you see that little piece? You know, it eases, it's called an easement, and enables it to go in easy. So we put that on there, and we just, and it's gone in really, really nice and firm. Okay, so there's your dovetail.